A man, a mission. Pierre Kaffer, former German Touring Car Championship works driver, tests the Lamborghini Gallardo Spyder for us today. It's pretty cool when you can accelerate from 100 to 200 in one gear. The former DTM Audi works driver approaches his test vehicle. The Lamborghini Gallardo Spyder, metal turned into a dream. V10, 520 horsepower, and a sound that makes car fans go weak at the knees. The driving performance, 0 to 100 in 4.3 seconds. The top speed is 314 kilometers per hour. It's not just the overwhelming power that did it for Pierre Kaffer, but most of all the technology. The Lamborghini is a superlative sports car for me, especially when we look at the suspension. We have double wishbone suspension front and rear, just like you get in motorsport in real racing cars. In the Lamborghini, we also have anti-dive, which means that if I brake firmly, the car's nodding is automatically reduced. Then we have the anti-squat, which means that we have better traction on the rear wheels when I accelerate strongly out of tight corners. And to find something like that is still very rare these days. The Gallardo positively sticks to the tarmac. The faster you drive, the more secure it feels, and it gets by without a large spoiler. I think that regardless of whether it's a V8, V10 or 12-cylinder, in a category like this, everything is fun to drive, and the sound of the Lamborghini is particularly successful. You can really feel the 10 cylinders, it's really powerful. This is now third gear, from 100 to 190, but in a jiffy, 160, 170, 180. I like aerodynamics. I like how you feel when driving. The faster you are, the more attack force you have. I simply find that cool. I love it. That's in comparison to Mark, who drove the Corvette. He doesn't like that. He prefers the way that Corvettes drive.
Der mag so nicht. Der mag eine Corvette, wo er so fahren kann und so fahren kann.
I also love when you take a corner like this at 300 kilometers per hour. It really blows me away. Not just at 300 kilometers per hour. Even stood still, the Gallardo can blow you away. So now we'll be quiet and just enjoy it. In the interior, you're greeted by almost perfect sports seats, leather and carbon as far as the eye can see. Every luxury, from heated seats to TV screens, is available on request. Everything in this Lambo seems to be right. Even Pierre Kaffer goes into raptures over it. I also look at workmanship and so on. Things like this turn me on. And it's great how this is made. There's no rubbish. It's totally... We've never even had door handles like that on DTM cars. The Gallardo comes with a manual 6-speed open gearbox as standard. For an almost 5-figure supplement, you can swap that for a sequential gearbox called E-gear. Manual or semi-automatic, a question of faith. In the Gallardo, it's solved perfectly. The sequential gearbox changes down itself when you double clutch. And if we try that now, the sound when you do that is simply phenomenal. With the E-gear, there are only gas and brake pedals, another parallel with motor racing. Although I don't know, the non-sequential gearbox would also be an attraction.
Haarschaltung oder hier, boah, die Haarschaltung, ich glaube, die wird mir auch anmachen.
The cool thing about this car is that you can brake with your left foot like in a real race car. Perfect.
Perfekt.
In an Audi sports car, the R8 or R10, you drive in a particular way, you know. This is the same. It's just great.
Ist einfach geil.
The weight of the car is, of course, very crucial. What's the use of a car that weighs 2 or 2.5 tons and has a lot of horsepower? Obviously, a car is always more agile at lower weight. The Gallardo weighs a burly 1,712 kilos with the tank 3/4 full. A tribute to safety, because the roof, roll bar and bracing required in a cabrio increase the weight by 100 kilos in comparison to the coupe. I think that sports cars that weigh 2 tons and still count as sports cars are really at the upper limit, because they also have to be able to stop from perhaps 260, 280 kilometers per hour. In this respect, the Gallardo is still a lighter representative of its class. Visually, though, it hides its pounds skillfully, and after all, the Lambo also has four-wheel drive. Opinion is divided as to whether a sports car needs four-wheel drive or not. I think that the Lamborghini engineers have found a perfect solution. The 30-70 distribution ratio is just perfect. The car is like a board on the road, and it also embodies a bit of safety. Thinking about if it were to start to rain, four-wheel drive is always safer on the road than front or rear-wheel drive. For me, Lamborghini is the overall concept. If I look at the Lamborghini Gallardo Spyder in particular, the shape of it is practically a wing profile, but reversed. The aerodynamics incorporated into this car and the concept, the weight distribution on the axles, the mid-engine, that's the overall concept. You can't reduce it to individual elements, and that's what makes the Gallardo and what makes for this Gallardo's perfection.
Den Gallardo ausmacht und auch die Perfektion an diesem Gallardo ausmacht.
A harmonious overall concept worth around 180,000 euros. Definitely not a bargain, but exclusivity has its price.